Alright, we are live with some Jund, but not the Jund we're used to on the channel this time. Opting to play a little bit of creativity. So this is kind of the mid-bridge of creativity. Not playing the 5-color version. Instead, you're opting for a persist and discard package, usually Bitter Reunion and Fable of the Mirror Breaker, to put any Archons you might draw into the graveyard. Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, and Bolt to kind of bridge to the mid-game. Run in 6 continuing to help you hit land drops, as well as all the Scry or Surveil lands, which allow you to put Archons of Cruelty in the graveyard for their persists. And then, of course, you have 4 copies of Indomitable Creativity to put multiple Archons into play. Relatively simple, with the added bonus of 4 copies of Pillage the Bog, helping you find whatever missing piece you're going for with each particular version of the game plan. Sideboard, this one has a very big mix. Sarah's Emissary, this one I believe is primarily for the Amulet matchup. If you get both of these into play, you stop your opponent from doing anything. Name lands and creatures. Other decks where your opponents only have one of real angle of attack, say against Affinity, name artifacts, your opponent's kind of dead at what they're doing. Terastodon, pretty much here for a deck like Tron, where blowing up their lands is very important. Weather the Storm, important for a deck like Burn and Prowess, both of which, well, especially Burn, can be a tricky matchup for creativity, period. Terra Sunder, as well as Pick Your Poison as your anti-artifact cards, 2 copies of Veil of Summer to protect against counter spells and discard spells. Turn the Earth, along with Surgical Extraction as your kind of anti-graveyard package, and then 2 copies of Brotherhood's End as a split card. Good against Affinity and Urza Saga decks, and then good against decks like Yawgmoth. So, that said, let's get into the matches and try to get through this relatively quickly, because, yeah. Late start on the stream tonight, because happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there everywhere. No anti-mill in this version. No Emrakul. So, we run into mill, I guess. I guess anti-sorcery, you could name sorcery with this, but that does shut off a good bit of Mill's game plan, I suppose. What's up, Foz? The old one-lander on the draw. Guess we'll try it. We're on the play, so. That does nothing. Oopsie. Skip your turn. Let's go ahead and grab. Yeah, I saw. What do you want me to do about it? I don't know. No idea what my opponent's on, but by the same token, let's see here. I'll do what our opponent's on, so we'll just go ahead and do the thing. Our opponent might presume that we're on. I'm doing alright today, Foz. Does this hand even do? Against a Giganta deck, I don't think I can keep an unfunctional hand. This hand is a little awkward, but so. Okay, definitely keeping the untapped land. They're not on burn. They're actually on prowess because of Gigantha. I mean, a burn-esque deck, but we're taking 2. Nope, I guess we're taking a lot more than that. Cool. Mm-hmm. The rage quit tipped you off. The funny part is they're probably going to quite easily win this game because they didn't show us anything game 1. So, Tarmogoyf's annoying. Yep. I mean, our best case scenario here, I think, is like surviving this turn, drawing a Archon, and then pitching it to Fable and drawing Persist. Alright, now that we know what we're up against. These seem fine. Open the Thoughtseizes. I guess theoretically, Sarah's Emissary. They have a Holy Heat in their deck, so I don't know that Emissary is just a GG. Alright. Opponent getting salty and then getting mad when I tell them, grow up and be a big boy or girl. Gotta take damage, which definitely not ideal. Guess we'll grab the green. Plan on pitching a land here. This is one of the downsides of the deck, is you do take a whole bunch of damage from your lands. No, this is the quote-unquote adult league. Taking a huge smack here, so... It's awesome, O'Doyle. Tarmogoyf is a 6/7. Sure. So they have Lava Dart and Abundant Harvest here. Lava Dart does mean we have to block, which kind of sucks. Oh, I will be very happy to say GG. Go to 7. Good old Magic Online. Gotta add a little bit of drama to things, huh? uh... Oh, I'm perfectly calm. That's the hilarious part. And the funny part is, it's a Prowess player, and I'm usually the person that plays the Prowess and burn decks. And the first game, honestly, if their hand was like their game, if they claimed their hand in game 1, was there like their hand in game 2. Which means I would have thought sees like a creature and then died. So, I don't know. I honestly think they probably could have won that first game despite... I think they were expecting me to skip my first turn because they skipped through their first turn. So, it's like... You two have been around for quite a while. How many times have I done that? I've probably done that at least a handful of times where I've skipped through turns. And, you know, I don't recall rage scooping. I remember being mad at myself. Or there were turns that, like, in the middle of a game, I, like, skipped through my, like, did the F6 through my opponent's turn and then F6'd again through my turn. I know I've done that. So it's like... It's a part, especially when you sign up for these more, like, expensive leagues, it's part of what you sign up for. Like, I'm playing against back-to-back Prowess decks with a deck that deals a lot of damage to itself. Well, hello there. Well, this here is awkward. On Prowess, it's admittedly punishing, but at the same time, it's not an auto loss. Especially since they did... I don't even know that they showed us Gigantha game 1. do I take here? I don't know that I care about any other cards in particular. Like, it's Jund. They're going to draw more removal spells. Tarmogoyf, yep. Don't get me wrong. They definitely could have lost game one. But they were... I kept a one-land hand that I then turned around and... Well, okay. Top deck Thoughtseize, so we lose. I guess I shouldn't say we ought to lose here, but we're not in the best of shape. Mm-hmm. Would love to make the running joke, Thoughtseize bug confirmed. Sure. Well played by our opponent. We know our opponent's got a Mishra's research desk, but we don't know what else they're packing besides Gigantha over there, obviously. Mm-hmm. Gets play Bowman here. Okay, no more survey lands available to us. Thoughtseize doesn't do much at the moment. May allow us to deal with their Gigantha, though. Okay, interesting choice here. I think we'll take the opportunity to kill the Bowmaster itself. Go to 4. Yikes. Yeah, we definitely have to chump block here, so. Not playing around Bolt, because if they had Bolt, we'd already be dead, so. Doing this to thin the deck out a little bit, because even hardcast that's kind of annoying. Well, we really need to draw something here. Yep, we're just dead here. Two veils in. Alright. We go down like two veils in, two Thoughtseizes out. Did I bring in any tertiary threats? Don't think so. Yeah, we'll try this hand. Chance we get Thoughtseized or Oblivion into the ground, but turn one Thoughtseize. Yep, shocker. Presumably take, yeah, I was gonna say they have to take Fable here, right? Nice part is if we see a Archon on top. Don't really like giving up on a bolt, but keep that for now. Seems like a reasonable card in a grindy matchup. Okay. Probably should have done that in the reverse order, but that's okay. Excuse me? You've got to have surgical extraction, right? Which means we auto lose here. Alright. I guess we should have brought in the alternative lines of thing. I think we keep this hand. Back Archon. Looks like we're up against Blue Zoo here. Looking for a land. Okay, well, that's going to the graveyard. What's the bog doing? Okay, they hit their land drop. I mean, we quasi hit a land. It's an ETB tap land. Our opponent gets to do nothing this turn, which is absolutely hilarious. I mean, they get to fetch a Triome or whatever here, but... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. EI, let's go. Land? I mean, we know our opponent can bolt. We're binding this. It's annoying, but... Mm-hmm. No? Sure. So we have no idea what the 4 cards in our opponent's hand are. Mm-hmm. Despite having rainbow lands, you still gotta tap your mana, right, for your spells. Mm-hmm. This is the annoying part of Blue Zoo is they have counter spells plus Leyline Binding here. And if we wait a turn to go for Persist, then they just eat it with Territorial Kavu. I think we forced the issue here. Hope to draw like you have to counterspell here. I mean, you don't have any other options. The one risk of taking Scion over Counterspell is walking into situations like this, so. Okay, yeah, you got a monkey. Take the 5, whether we like it or not. Alright, not winning that game. Two of those, two of those. Yeah, I'll try it. Tribal Flames, Tribal Flames. Inline Blending, Force Negation. Gotta be mindful of our life total, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. You know what? I actually should have just cast Pick Your Poison there. Eh. Tribal Flames. Tribal Flames. Does whatever Tribal Flames does. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, Raucous Theater. Opponent sacrifices enchantment. Opponent with 3 cards in hand. Interesting choice. Okay, that was actually kind of dumb though on my part. I could have held it Veil of Summer. It only doesn't do a lot, but it would have done possibly something. Okay. Guess we actually should bring in Terrace Under. I think it's safe to mulligan this hand. Yeah, this hand's fine. Like that. Mm-hmm. Turn one monkey. Turn one monkey dies. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Really need to find a bridge card for this turn. Yeah, that's whatever. Fatal Push would be probably ideal. Okay. They must really like the cards in their hand. I guess we're dead to some combination of like Tribal Flames plus Bolt. This has about a snowball's chance in heck of working, but we do have to jam given the circumstances. Mm-hmm. I guess we could have jammed Terra Sunder first. Why are they continuing to chomp stuff out of her graveyard? That doesn't make much sense. Alright, moving on. Does look like our opponent wishing us bad luck has worked out for them. Our first round opponent, that is. So, yeah, it happens. Alright, looks like we're up against yet another Giganta deck. Shocker, right? We'll keep this hand. It's pretty good against most Giganta decks. Looking for lands, ideally. Gonna bend that Fable. What's the Bog doing? Okay. Go ahead and set up with Commercial District this turn, I think. See if we're up against... Okay, looks like we're up against the... Gruul version of the deck. Presume they're just going to plot here. Oh, Tarmogoyfi. Fair enough. Commercial District. Bloop. That, I guess Fable makes more sense in some regards there. Just kind of overloading our opponent's mana. But too old for computers, Foz. Memory serves correctly, you're right around my age, so... Swizzle Spear. Interesting choice. Curious what they do with their attack. Creativity for one better. Feel like something they have some amount of difficulty beating here. Not saying they can't beat it with enough chain spells, but we're probably blocking here anyway, so... If they just run the no attacks, then this game's over. I literally don't care about running ticks here. Tire fire face, sure. Presume they have like double bolt here, or they're just writing off the game. And even if they have double bolt, we're so far ahead this right now that I'm pretty sure this game's over. And our opponent agrees. Okay. A bit younger or older, but not that much. Okay. So against Prowess, we probably want these 4. Pick your poison is a consideration specifically because it kills Slick Shot. Turn the Earth, I guess, would also be a consideration just because it gains life. We definitely want the 4 Thoughtseizes out because they're basically a creature / burn deck. So these 4 for these 4 at least make sense. Turn the Oath over a Pillage the Bog, maybe. Yeah, Sand is as good as we can hope for in the early turns. Outside of having multiple pieces of removal. What's the Bog doing? Opponent's gonna smack us for 4. Sure. That's an awkward spell to reveal. Presume they go non-land here, right? Tarfire. Obviously, doing that is very risky in the face of our opponent drawing Surgical Extraction. It's possibly what I should have brought in more threats because we just died to that. Bloop. Why would they shock in there? Okay, that makes sense. Opponent reveals Bolt. Opponent getting... Now, keeping in mind, our opponent knows we have Weather the Storm, so... Would love to draw Persist. That was dumb. They have surgical, more power to them, I guess. They do not. You know what? Just to avoid any nonsense. That was 100% a punt. So Tower Fire, okay. So I can only assume that my opponent is planning on... Wow. This is a painful way to deal with an Archon. Yikes. So we know they have a card on top of their library. I'm going to pitch one of our Fables. Kind of unfortunate for our opponent. Okay. So we're 2-0 against Gruul Prowess and 0-2 against Blue Zoo and what was the other deck? Jund. Actual Jund Saga. So. Alright, yes, I'd like to play first. Keeping this hand. I'm going to keep that card. Please don't be Mill. Oh, Lord. Hey, Foz, you called it. No, 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 no. And if they have surgical extraction here, we're kind of 100% screwed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Left in my library to draw. 2. How many Thoughtseizes have I been through here? And if they have the kill, they have the kill. Alright. Turn the earth in. Veil of Summers in. Sarah's Emissary in. Do I risk... Isn't there a opponent? Oop, they have nothing. Okay. What hand did our opponent keep? Surgical extraction? Hmm. Kind of annoying, but not unexpected. Mm-hmm. Alright, let's actually look at mill lists of late. Okay, glimpse is in. Alright. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do believe if we untap, our opponent is dead. your opponent agrees. Alright. So that was one of the more colorful beginnings we've had to a league in a while. Yeah, Stuck it's fine. I mean, we lost to Blue Zoo, we lost to Jund Midrange, Jund Saga, and we beat Mill and 2 Prowess decks. Don't know that a lot can be garnered from this league other than this deck does seem to have a reasonable build against the non-counterspell Prowess decks. Yeah, I've always liked Jund creativity, but it's always just felt... Man base is painful, like all Jund man bases. And with 24 lands, you do have some air in the deck. Not sure how many Pillage the Bogs is correct. 4 is a lot. Sometimes I wonder if you don't want additional copies of Persist and Bitter Reunion instead. Just kind of use Pillage the Bog as kind of like a filler card. It is nice in the later game to allow you to find basically anything, but it is in the end a 1-for-1. So, the sideboard, we almost missed the Emrakul, but I feel like Emrakul is really only good against Mill. The 2 Terastodon didn't come up, but then again, we didn't really play against Tron specifically, or Amulet, which I suspect is probably like the best matchup for Terastodon, although Emissary, you hit 2 Emissaries, and Amulet can never win, so... the rest of the sideboard saw some play other than Surgical Extraction. I mean, Weather the Storm we brought in against Prowess, Terra Sunder we brought in, Veil of Summer we brought in, Turn the Earth was almost clutch there against our Mill opponent. 2 copies of Pick Your Poison was reasonable against Blue Zoo. So, this list feels pretty refined. The only thing that was kind of awkward a little bit sometimes was the one of Beseju. Just being awkward, especially if it's like your 3rd or 4th land, because it makes your Dwarven Mines a little bit worse in the mid-game, but it's a split land spell slash removal spell for problematic things sometimes, so it's kind of hard to fault that one terribly much. But yeah, a 3-2 in an actual normal Modern league rather than a friendly league, which I did mainly for time constraints. The queues tend to pop a little bit faster, so you get to the matches a little bit faster. Competition's a little bit higher. People get a little bit more cagey. So, anyways, if you like modern content, especially the Jund variety for this channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you for next week's stream. Thanks to Foz and O'Doyle for hanging out. Everybody else that was hanging out tonight, whether they talked or not. 10 or 30 Foz, what? I am so confused. I'm presuming you were talking about leagues, but it is $10 league. But anyways, see you guys next week.